there! Have you ever made desktop applications? There are frameworks to make desktop applications per each platform. That makes it difficult when you consider releasing all platforms. So these days, cross-platform solutions are pretty popular, such as Qt or Flutter. So you can have only one source and use it for multi-platforms. Cross-platform solutions usually provide a common way to handle application windows. You can also build a UI components tree and handle events that's dispatched to a component. And usually the frameworks provide common UI components like toggle button, drop-down, text area, and etc. In Chromium, the Views is the framework. This is located in UI Views directory. Let's tour the Views framework with examples. So, let's take a look at the View class. The View class is the key class of the Views framework. The View class represents a rectangle that can contain other views recursively. Literally, the view is a building block of every UI in Chromium. For instance, you can easily find that tab, location bar, and all other UI components are inheriting the view. The view provides three major things: rendering, layout, and events handling. As for rendering, you can override the onPaint method to draw something on the view. Also, you can draw background and border too with overriding. But set background and set border is more desirable if possible. As you can see here, the tab is overriding onPaint method and delegating it to tab style views. We're going to modify it later in this video. The next important part is layout. You can set a view's geometric properties like position and size. In case you have child views in a view, you can override layout method. But like background and border, using layout managers is more preferred if possible. Again, tab is overriding layout method. It lays out favicon, title, and close button, which are children of it. The next thing that View is responsible for is event handling. You can see many virtual methods related to events handling. When you override these, you can control the mouse events and keyboard events, even gesture events. Tab is also overriding most of these events handler methods. You can see it's delegating it to its controller. Additionally, for child management, you can use these methods. View provides basic adding, removing, reordering, and so on. Let's see how it's used by the tab. When new tab button is pressed, Add Child View method will be invoked in the end. And when close button is pressed, Remove Child View will be invoked. But View is too basic to use, so there are pre-built controls. And you can see this in View's example project. In order to build and run View's example, type this command into terminal in the src directory. Then you should find View's example's executable is generated in out default directory. In case you've never built Chromium, please refer to my video. And one more thing, View's example project may not run on Mac. This is View's example. You can see many examples on the left side of the window. So for practice, let's try to add our own example to this project. We're going to make a clicker that shows click count. I created click counter example class just like other example. It's inheriting example base class. We should add the header and CC file to the build GN of View's example. Otherwise, it wouldn't be included in the project. And after that, added our clicker to the example vector so that it is listed in the View's example. If you build and run the example project again, you can find the clicker on the left side. Okay, now we're going to make an actual view. I created a clicker class that inherits View class. I just added this to the anonymous namespace in clickCounter example.cc file. You may notice metadata header and begin-end metadata macros. These are required for View classes to manage metadata of views in Chromium. And then we should implement the clickCounter example's createExample Views method. Firstly, sets fill layout manager to the parent view. This will make the clicker take entire space of the parent view and adds clicker view to the parent view. So now, let's try to capture mouse press events and render click count on the view. You can easily increment the count by overriding on mouse pressed method. But don't forget to call schedule paint method. The view won't be repainted before you schedule paint. Then you'll have to paint it to the graphics canvas object that passed to onPaint method. Graphics canvas is the main object you'll need to paint something on the view. It's a abstracted canvas, and it's backed by Skia project. That's why SK Color Black is used, which is color constant in Skia. In order to draw text, you can use drawString rect method. Another thing you may not be familiar with is base. Base is a common library that used everywhere in Chromium. Here we used base string print to format string with count integer. Now you'll see something like this, but it's boring. So let's add a little bit more. I painted color on mouse hover like this. And now we've got this. Lastly, let's try the actual tab's color and shape. As mentioned, Tab is delegating its painting to Tab Style Views class. The Google Material 2 Tab Style Views is the actual implementation. Here you can see it's clipping the tab shape and fill color to the tab. I changed the clipping path like this. Again, we should use SK path, which is Skia object. You may be familiar with these operations if you have experienced Web Canvas API or something similar. And I added code to paint a bluish strip to the top of the tab. In case you forgot how to build, here is the build command. Type this to your terminal and run the executable. Yay! Thanks for watching. Please leave comments if you have any questions or troubles.